لله رب العالمين. الحمد لله رب العالمين. صلى الله وسلم على محمد وآله وصحبه وسلم. Inshallah, we continue with المنظومة الفقهية by الشيخ العلامة الشيخ عبد الرحمن بن ناصر السعدي رحمه الله تعالى. تفضل. في الجمع
والإفراد
كالعليم. Okay, so the Sheikh, he said وَأَلْ. Okay, أل تفيد الكل في العموم. طيب, ال here ال is two types. You have الاستغراقية and you have للعهد أو الصفة. So which is the that you find in the beginning of a word. Like, for example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسان لَفِي خُسْرٍ. By the time man is in a state of loss. Al-insan. Here means every insan, every human being is in a state of loss. So this is jama'. This is jama' العموم. And it is للعموم because it is for generality. So whenever you have which is inclusive, للاستغراق, inclusive, it is general. It is general because the statement of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, إِنَّ الْإِنسَانِ, verily man is in a state of loss. All man. Nobody excluded. Nobody is excluded. So it is general. So this is what the Shaykh means by للعموم. تفيد العموم. So in the beginning of a word, it necessitates generality. It necessitates generality. Another example, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. Indeed, actions are based on their intention or judged by their intention. So, الأعمال, إن الأعمال, all actions. All actions. So, they are judged by their intentions. So, all actions are judged by their intentions. So, if the intention is good, the action will be good. For example, when someone gives في سبيل الله with the intention to please Allah, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward him because of his good intention. Another person, he gives to be seen because he wants the people to see that he's giving. Or he wants their praise. He wants them to praise him or the like. Then this person's action will be invalid. Allah will not accept it because the action is invalid due to the intention behind it. So, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالِ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. Al-a'mal is general. All actions. Can anybody give us an example of which is inclusive now?
Like if you pray for your parents and not for yourself?
No. I want something from the Quran and the Hadith. يا أيها الناس. أحسنت. يا أيها الناس. All mankind. Okay, is it some without others or all mankind? All mankind. Anybody can give us an example from the Quran, from the Hadith? Alhamdulillah. Yes. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. So all praise are due to Allah. Is this inclusive or not? It's inclusive. So all praises. This is general. It's very important. And this is actually this has to do with usul al-fiqh. This has to do with the principle of jurisprudence. This is not from al-qawa'id al-fiqhiyya. This is from usul al-fiqh. Yeah, at the end, inshallah. طيب. So when you have al, right? When you have al that is inclusive, then it is general. Sometimes al can be not inclusive. Cannot be inclusive, specific. Like for example, فَعَصَى فِرْعَوْنُ الرَّسُولَ فَعَصَى فِرْعَوْنُ الرَّسُولَ. And Pharaoh, he disobeyed the messenger. He disobeyed the messenger. Even though it has alif lam, but it's not inclusive. Right? It is not, it's specific. The messenger here is who? Musa alayhi salam. So can anybody give us another example from the Quran about the general? Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu. Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu. O you who believe. All the believers. This is for all the believers. This address is for all the believers. And there are many examples in the Quran, the Hadith, Prophet ﷺ, about al-alif wal-lam, al-alif wal-lam. So he's saying that tufid al-umum means it is general. It is general. طيب. And he said, في الجمع والإفراد. في الجمع والإفراد. الجمع is the plural. Like الناس. المؤمنون. This is جمع, plural. All mankind and all the people. So al-ifrad is singular. Like what? Al-alim. The Shaykh, he gave an example. Al-alim. What does al-alim mean? The all-knowing. The all-knowing. So his knowledge encompasses everything. Nothing escapes from his knowledge. Nothing escapes from his knowledge. So now, we know that al-alif wal-lam, when it comes in the Quran or the Hadith, most likely is going to be inclusive. It's going to be inclusive. Unless we have an evidence that it is not. Unless we have an evidence that it is not inclusive. It is specific. Okay? Understood, right? Yeah. All right, good. You can go to the second line, inshallah. What? والنكيرات في سياق النفي. Okay, you could stop right there. النكيرات. ما معنى النكيرات? What are النكيرات? Indefinite what? Articles. So you have in the Arabic language, you have المعرفة والنكرة. المعرفة والنكرة. المعرفة is the definite article. The definite article. النكرة is indefinite article. What's the difference between them?
The ma'rifa will have the alif lam in front of it.
Yes, and the nakira?
It doesn't.
It doesn't. And okay, that's in terms of the
grammar.
In terms of the wording, right? Okay, what about the meaning? Do they vary in their meaning, or are they the same? They vary. Okay, what's the difference between them?
I believe the ma'rifa is specific.
Okay, and
the nakira is general.
Okay, good. All right. For example, when I say al-ma, what does this mean? The water. Is this definite or indefinite article? Or, wait, let him ask. Definite, right? You say definite or indefinite article? Al-ma, the water. Is it definite or indefinite article?
Grammatically different, but
Is it, grammatically speaking, is definite or indefinite? Definite. What you say?
Depending on what the conversation.
The water.
Yeah.
The water.
It's not specific, but it's saying you got
Is it definite or indefinite?
definite.
Definite. Everybody agree?
No, indefinite.
Wrong. No. What did he say? When it started with what?
Oh, yes.
T-H-E, right? In English, and in Arabic, alif lam. طيب? So whenever you have the water, طيب? The man, the woman, and the like, this is definite article. The door, or the like, this is definite article. Because you know exactly what you're talking about. طيب? When I say water, is this definite or indefinite? Indefinite. Okay, you know why they study these in Usul al-Fiqh? Why they study it? It's very important when it comes to al-Fiqh.
So you can understand like meanings of the hadith or the Quran?
Quran and hadith, and you understand what is general, what is specific, what is restricted, what is unrestricted. Remember, what is restricted, what is what? Unrestricted. For example, when I say, bring me water, did I specify? No. Did I? I did not. I did not specify. I said, bring me water. I did not tell you, bring me a glass of water. I did not specify. Water. So if you brought me a bottle of water, then you did what you were supposed to do. If you brought me a gallon of water, you did what you were supposed to do. You understand? So now, but when I say, bring me a cup of water, is this specific or not? Specific. Okay, now, how do we understand this in al-fiqh? For example, if we have an ayah, when there is indefinite article. For example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said, فَإِن لَمْ تَجِدُوا مَاءً فَتَيَمَّمُوا فَإِن لَمْ تَجِدُوا مَاءً. Is ma'an here definite or indefinite article? Indefinite article. If you don't find water, then make tayammum. What do we understand from this?
If there's like no water,
Is it no water or any water? Which one? Any water. Okay. All right. Now let's say we found water, but it has the leaves of the trees on it. Is it still considered water or not?
Yes.
It's still considered water. So we can use it. Because He said if you don't find water. Now we find water, but it changed into something else. It became like Kool-Aid. Is this water? No, it's not water. Or rose water. It's not water anymore. So this is very important to know. For example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, the Surah Sharh, أَلَمْ نَشْرَحْ لَكَ صَدْرَكَ وَوَضَعْنَا عَنْكَ وِزْرَكَ الَّذِي أَنْقَضَ ظَهْرَكَ وَرَفَعْنَا لَكَ ذِكْرَكَ فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا. إِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا. Al-usr, yusra. Which one is definite? Which was indefinite?
Al-usr is definite.
And yusr?
And yusr is indefinite.
Okay. Now, when we're talking about the quantity or the number, which one has more? Indefinite has more. Ahsant. That's why Abdullah ibn Abbas, he said, what did he say? Anybody knows? What did he say about this ayah? Yes, he said one usr, hardship, cannot overcome two ease. You understand? See al-fiqh. Now you understand. Why definite article and indefinite article is very important to understand. Because القواعد الفقهية, the foundations of al-fiqh and usul al-fiqh, they depend upon the understanding of the Arabic language. If you don't understand it, you will not be able to get it. You understand? So also in English, when I first started English, I had to learn grammar, English grammar, regular verb, irregular verb, and the like. We went through all that process, we learned so that you be able to speak correctly. طيب. Now, continue. Okay, he said والنكرات في سياق النفي تعطي العموم أو سياق النهي. Okay, نكرات في سياق النفي. Nakirat, indefinite article in the context of what? Nafi. What is nafi? Negation. Can you give me an example? Nafi. Nafi. Okay, go ahead. Okay, La ilaha illallah. Okay, very good. Any other example? Yes, ليس في الدار أحد. أحسنت. Okay, from the Quran. I want something from the Quran. You understand, Hassan?
No.
Okay. Indefinite article in the context of negation.
Oh, okay.
What does it mean? If you don't understand it, you will not be able to give an example. What does it mean? No, but what does it mean?
He's denying something with accepting of something. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله.
Okay.
Fall under this entirely.
Let's repeat again. النكرات في سياق النفي. Indefinite articles in the context of negation. So we have an indefinite article, but the context, it comes in the context of negation. لا إكراه في الدين. Okay, what else? نفس شيئا. أحسنت. لا تملك نفس لنفس شيئا. You see? So, this is nakirat. Whenever you have a nakira في سياق النفي or النهي or in the context of prohibition. Like what? In the context of prohibition. I'll start first. وَاعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَلَا تُشْرِكُوا بِهِ شَيْئًا. وَاعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ. Worship Allah and do not associate anything. Anything is what? Indefinite article in the context of what? No, prohibition. Not negation, prohibition. وَاعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَلَا تُشْرِكُوا بِهِ شَيْئًا. وَلَا تُشْرِكُوا بِهِ. And do not associate anything in worship with Him. Okay. Anything in worship, is it general or not? General. Doesn't matter what it is. Is a rock, a tree, a stone, a grave, an angel, a prophet, and so on and so forth. Is that understood? Yes. فلا تطعهما. We want nakira. We want the nakira, the indefinite article in the context of prohibition.
Do not approach your women.
No. ولا تقل لهما أف. أحسنت. ولا تقل لهما أف. And do not say uff to them. This is nakira في سياق النهي, in the context of prohibition.
ولا تطيع منهم آثما
أو كفورا. أحسنت. Okay. Continue.
كذلك من وما
تفيدان
مع كل العموم
يا أخي فاسمع. So he said كذلك من. What is man? Grammatically speaking, how do you define man? Man. Man, who?
There's different types.
Yes. There is min and there's man.
No, different types of men. Like
Yes.
istifham for sure.
Yes. أحسنت. So there is man الاستفهامية, which is interrogative noun. Interrogative noun. For example, من ذا الذي يشفع عنده. من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه. من يفعل هذا يكن له هذا. Whoever does this, he will get this. What is this? Conditional. Right? This is conditional noun. So it depends on how you use it. It depends on how you use it. So both of them, they necessitate what? Generality. For example, فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَهُ وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ شَرًّا يَرَهُ. Whoever, is it general or not? General. Anyone who does this. Whoever does an atom's weight of good shall see it. Whoever does an atom's weight of evil shall see it. This is general. طيب? It is general. And ma. Okay. Man is said for للعاقل. للعاقل means humans and the like. And ma is for غير العاقل. Animals and other than that. طيب. ما is what? In English you say what? mat. ما. ما. Not man. ما. ولله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض. ولله ما في السماوات. ولله ما في السماوات.
Ma is what?
Yes. Yes, sir. ولله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض. To Allah belongs what is in the heavens and the earth. So ma here, is it general or not? ما في السماوات. General. Everything that is in the heaven and the earth belongs to Him. There are things that we know and things that we don't know. This is general. Yep. Now. Then he said, رحمه الله تعالى, كل العموم تفيدان معا كل العموم. So both of them, they are general. They are general. So they necessitate generality. ومثله, keep going, ومثله إذ يضاف. Okay, you can stop right there. ومثله, he said ومثله المفرد إذ يضاف. Likewise المفرد. What is المفرد? Singular. Singular. مفرد is singular. الجمع is plural. Okay? That way you know in English what it means. طيب. المفرد, he said إذ يضاف. إذ يضاف. المضاف, you have المضاف والمضاف إليه. Right? المضاف والمضاف إليه. Can anybody give me example of المضاف والمضاف إليه?
في البيت.
Huh? No. I'm going to give you an example. كتاب محمد. كتاب محمد. Muhammad's book. What is المضاف here? كتاب. والمضاف إليه محمد. أحسنت. طيب. Okay. كتاب محمد. مضاف إليه is something that is connected to someone else. It's like his, possessive. You understand? طيب. Now, for example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said, وَإِن تَعُدُّوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ لَا تُحْصُوهَا. وَإِن تَعُدُّوا, in Surah Ibrahim, He said, وَإِن تَعُدُّوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ. Okay, نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ. نعمة, is it مفرد or جمع? No. No. نعمة. What's the plural of نعمة? نعم. Okay, وإن تعدوا نعمة الله. Okay, نعمة الله. How you translate نعمة الله? The blessings of Allah. Even though it is singular, but when you translate it to plural. Why? Because it is what? General. So now, we have the guideline. When we have the singular, okay, that is connected, طيب, with something else, then it becomes what? General. نعمة Allah, the blessings of Allah. Means all the blessings. It's not just one blessing. If you were to count all the blessings of Allah, you will not be able to count it. You will not be able to count it. Also, والذي صدق والذي, what's the ayah? There is an ayah. والذي جاء بالصدق وصدق به. والذي جاء بالصدق وصدق به. The one who brought the truth and he believed in it. And then he said after that, أولئك. And he used the plural at the end. Even though it is singular, but because in this context it means the plural, even though it is singular. طيب. Continue.
فافهم هديت الرشد مع ما
يضاف يضاف أكمل.
ولا يتم الحكم حتى تجتمع
كمل.
كل الشروط
والموانع ترتفع. So now what he's saying, لا يتم الحكم حتى تجتمع فيه الشروط وتنتفي عنه الموانع. Okay. He's saying that a ruling when you say halal, haram, this is a ruling. حكم. طيب. So he said this حكم cannot be fulfilled. Cannot be fulfilled until the conditions have to be met and the barriers have to be removed. What does this mean, ikhwan? Anybody knows? What does he mean by that? Well, I have to explain it.
Proof got to be established.
Huh?
Proof has to be established.
Okay, is that a condition or is that a barrier?
condition.
It's a condition. طيب. What are the barriers? Hmm?
Evil deeds?
No. Yes, ahsant. Okay. Now, I'll give you an example. When it comes to the salat, in order for your salat to be valid, all the conditions have to be met and all the barriers have to be removed. Okay? I'm going to clarify this to you. And then you can go around and give me an example. Now, all the conditions have to be met. You have to fulfill all the conditions of the salat. That you are a Muslim, you are sane, that you clean, make wudu, satr al-awra, cover your awra, facing the qibla. The time of the salat has to be in, and the like, wudu, and all this. These are conditions, right or wrong. So they have to be fulfilled. Now, at the same time, the barriers have to be removed. What are the barriers? Like I have to be clean. Cannot have any impurity on me. So I have to remove it. طيب? I have to cover my awra. طيب? So those barriers have to be removed. Someone is a non-Muslim. He cannot, even if he fulfill the conditions of the salat, and he still has a barrier, the salat will not be valid. Why? Because there is a barrier which is called what? Kufr. Al-kufr. So, in order for a ruling to be applicable, all the conditions have to be met and all the barriers have to be removed. Another example, a man accepted Islam. So he's new to Islam. And in the month of Ramadan, he had some food during the day. So now when he found out that he was not supposed to do it, then what is the ruling here? His fast is valid because there was a barrier there. What is the barrier? Ignorance. You see? Because there was a barrier there, so the ruling does not apply. Sometimes a person may say a statement of kufr, but because the person is jahil, ulama, they don't make takfir of him. Like, for example, Sayyid Qutb. He made some statement of kufr, but yet, they did not take him out of the fold of Islam, because the scholars are very cautious. All the conditions have to be met, all the barriers have to be removed, because the man was ignorant. And that's why Shaykh Al-Uthaymeen, he said, لولا الورع لكفرنا سيد قطب. If it was not of us being cautious, we would have deemed Sayyid Qutb to be a non-believer. But because of the caution of the ulama, because the issue of takfir is not an easy matter, because there was a barrier there. The man is ignorant. He doesn't know. For example, he said that the Quran is created like the heavens. This is a very serious statement. Is the Quran created? Quran is not created. The Quran uncreated, because the Quran is the speech of Allah, and the speech of Allah cannot be created. Yes, the heavens, the earth, they're created. The human beings are created. Jinn are created. Angels, the throne of Allah is created, but not the speech of Allah, not His attributes. Those are not created because of ignorance. So all the conditions have to be met and all the obstacles have to be removed. Can anybody give us an example of this?
Like, for example, a marriage not being correct because a woman married
Yes, ahsant. So a man, he did a contract with a woman. This man is a non-Muslim. And the lady is a Muslim. And this happened. It's happening as we speak. There are actually women marrying Hindus. Yes? So the contract is batil, is invalid. So the conditions have to be met and the obstacles have to be removed. Now, تفضل.
ومن أتى بما عليه من عمل فلي استحق
قد استحق.
فلي
No, قد استحق.
قد استحق ما له على العمل.
So basically what the Sheikh is saying, anyone who does a job for somebody, then he deserves the wage according to his job. طيب? For example, he worked for half a day, then he gets paid for half a day. He worked for a whole day, he gets paid for a whole day. So this is what this qaida means. It's not really that complicated. It's very simple. قاعدة. تفضل.
ويفعل البعض من المأمور إن شق الفعل سائر المأمور.
The Shaykh he said, ويفعل البعض من المأمور إن شق فعل سائر المأمور. So now ما لا يدرك كله لا يترك جله. You can also say it like this. طيب. So what he's saying, for example, you want to pray, but you cannot stand up. So you would not be able to fulfill the commandment of Allah altogether, because you don't have the ability to stand up. So should you say, no, I'm not going to pray? No, you pray sitting. طيب? If you cannot pray sitting, then you can pray what? Laying down. You see? If you cannot find water, then what do? Tayammum. If you cannot find water or tayammum, what do? Pray. It doesn't matter. You pray. So basically, ما لا يدرك كله ما لا يدرك كله لا يترك كله. That which cannot be achieved altogether should not be left out altogether. So you do what you can, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said in the Quran, فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ. Fear Allah to the best of your ability and do the best you can. And this qaida, we can use it in every situation. طيب? We can use it in every situation. You do the best you can. Can anybody give us an example?
Like performing Hajj.
No.
If you're not able to.
Yes. Ahsant. What else? Anyone? You can? Okay, if you can't fast, then what do?
You pay the charity.
This is if you have a valid reason. If you have a valid reason, like for example, someone cannot fast, period, because of a sickness, chronic sickness, marad muzmin. He has marad muzmin, a chronic sickness, like diabetes. He has to eat during the day. طيب, he has to drink and the like, has to take medicine. So this person, he cannot fast. So what does he do? He expiates. He expiates. طيب? Now, you can go to the next one.
وكلما نشأ عن المأذون فذاك أمر ليس بالمأمون.
بالمضمون. طيب. So this qaida here, the Shaykh is saying, when someone gives you authorization to do something for him, and you did the best you could to do it, but something happened. An accident happened. Like, for example, a doctor. You signed the waiver that he's going to operate on your body. طيب? He did his best he could, but complication happened. Are you going to blame now the doctor? You're going to go and say, you need to pay me the damages for that? No, because you gave him the authorization to do so. You get it? So not like the kuffar, they're going to go sue him. No, in Islam we don't do that. Because once you give a person authorization and the person is well skilled in that field, and he did his best he could, but some complication happened out of his control, right? Then there is no daman, there is no paying back of damages in that case. That's what the Sheikh wants to say. Anybody can give us an example of this? No. Another example, back in my country, we have I don't know about Guyana and other areas if you have this, but in Morocco we have this. We have the neighborhood bakery. It's not the place where you go buy bread and pastry. No, I'm not talking about that. But probably I should word it in a different way. Oven. There's an oven there. People bring the bread. They bring the dough. So there is a man, he bakes the dough for you. So you give him the authorization to bake your bread. So sometimes he does his best and the bread gets burnt. Are you going to blame him now? You're going to tell him, you got to give me back and pay me back for what happened? No. Because you have given him permission to bake your bread. And he did the best he could. It was not out of negligence. You understand? This is an example as well. Okay, any other example, Ikhwan? Fadal.
Question like,
No.
say somebody loans a car to somebody else, their car.
Yes.
If they get into an accident.
Yes, it's something beyond their control. Like if it's someone else's fault, it's not his fault out of negligence, but someone else bumped into him, then there is nothing upon him. Or someone you gave him something to sell, right? And he did his best he could, right? And something happened beyond his control. There's no paying back of damages in that case. If it was out of his negligence, yes, he has to pay back. But if it was not out of his negligence, then he doesn't have to pay anything. Nah. Tfaddal. You want to give an example?
So like you give someone to save your money for you?
Yes.
You're on a trip and someone robs the money? And then
Yes, exactly. Anything that is out of control, the person, he cannot control it. He doesn't have any control over it. You understand? طيب. تفضل.
وكلما نشأ
You already read that.
وكل حكم دائر مع
علته.
وهي التي قد أوجبت لشرعته.
طيب. So what he wants to say here, you can write this down. الأحكام تدور مع عللها وجودا وعدما. الأحكام تدور مع عللها وجودا وعدما. الأحكام, the rules, تدور, they go around, right? عللها means the motive. وجودا وعدما, whether if it's there, the motive is there, then the ruling is going to apply. If the motive is not there, the ruling will not apply. I'll give you an example. Now, a woman was fasting, right? A woman was fasting. And then, after Maghrib, she found out her period started. What do you say about her day? Was her day valid or not? Valid. الأحكام تدور مع عللها وجودا وعدما. طيب. During the fast, the day of the fast, was there a motive for her not to fast? Because she was what? She was clean. But now there is a illah. There is what? A motive. What is it? The menses. So at this time, the ruling changes. Okay, can she fast now? No. She cannot fast. Likewise, you're traveling. So when you're traveling, you can combine and shorten, right or wrong. What is al-illah? What is the motive? Travel. Ahsant. Okay, as long as you are traveling, then you can do what? Combine and shorten. طيب. Now, if you're not traveling anymore, do you still shorten? You don't shorten. You get it. So now, الأحكام تدور مع عللها وجودا وعدما. If the rule, the motive is there, then the ruling applies. For example, why is الخمر alcohol haram? Why? Because of intoxication. That is العلة. That is the motive. طيب. Now, what about drugs? Do they have the same illah? Yes, they do. طيب. Now, when you have a medication that has some alcohol in it, but this alcohol went through transformation. Okay? Transformation process, which is called الاستحالة. Now, this transformation process affected that alcohol. So it's no longer there. When you smell even the medicine, you don't smell alcohol. When you drink it, you don't taste any alcohol. Now, is this medicine halal or haram? Halal. Because al-illah is not there. Because the motive that will make it haram is no longer there. You get it? It's very important, ikhwan, to understand this qaida. الأحكام تدور مع عللها وجودا وعدما. If the illah is there, the motive is there, الحكم applies. If it's not there, it does not apply. Clear, huh? طيب. Should we stop here or should we... نعم تفضل.
So what if...
نعم.
So the first principle, one of the principles you mentioned, if it's not the person, if it's the person, for example, an accident.
Yes.
And it was out of their control. But later on, news comes to you that to prove that it was something that they caused. How would you? Is it better to leave it or?
Repeat the question. Sorry.
So let's say you rent someone your vehicle.
You rent your vehicle to somebody.
Yeah, and then they get into an accident. They said it wasn't their fault. They had nothing to do with it. But then proof and evidence comes from someone, the passenger or someone.
That it was their fault.
It was their fault.
No, you don't leave it. No, if there are witnesses that witness that this person was his fault out of negligence, then of course he has to pay back the damages. Now, you know, in Saudi Arabia, one time there was this young man. This young man, he graduated from college back then, years ago. And his salary was not that great. It was like about 2,000 riyal. It's like nothing. 2,000 riyal today, if you get paid 2,000 riyal, well, there is nothing you can do with 1,000 riyal. Nothing. طيب, back then. So his father, mashallah, Allah blessed him with a lot of wealth. So he came to him, he said, I want to get you married. He said, Dad, look, I'm not making much, 2,000 riyal. He said, don't worry, I'm gonna take care of your dowry. I have a house for you, and I have a good car for you. Look how parents, subhanallah, help their children. So he got him the house, he got him a beautiful car, and the dowry, he got married. So one day he was driving. This man came out of nowhere, taxi driver, and crashed into him. Right? So the police came to do a report. So when they came, this young man, he walked up to this older gentleman, taxi driver. He said, just out of curiosity, do you have insurance? He said, son, I don't have. And it's a very serious offense. You don't have it. They may lock you up. He said, you know what? I'm going to let it go for the sake of Allah. I will not press charge against you. So the man, he was heavily influenced by the character of this young man. So he said, can you tell me what tribe you come from? Because this is a very noble, action. So he said, what tribe do you come from? So he told them the tribe, I forgot the name of the tribe. He said, what's your father's name? He said, my father is person so and so. He said, La ilaha illallah. He said, is there anything wrong? He said, years ago, when your father was your age, he bumped into me. I was driving, and he crashed into me. And I let him go. And look what happened now. Subhanallah al-Azim. Look at this. Amazing, huh? Allahu Akbar. Look, Islam. Islam is a religion of compassion. Allahu Akbar. Amazing. Good akhlaq. So the young man, he called his father. He said, there is a man here. This is what happened. I want you to talk to him. He said, yes, I know him. This is what happened between me and him. Amazing. I wanted to share that with you to, finish this session, inshallah, for tonight. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us all al-ilm al-nafi' wal-amal al-salih. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam.